talking to you, man. Be quiet. Be quiet.
His brother says on our little promos right there, he says, "You got your sword. It looked like you slaying squirrels."
I was. I'm afraid anything bigger, I'm scared of. So yeah.
Those are sanctified squirrels. Come on now.
They're not sanctified no more.
He's a squirrel slayer.
Those squirrels are coming at me hard. I was like, get away from me. Get away from me.
Hey, well,
What's this?
thank everybody for joining and watching
Thank
our
you.
show. Three men who love Jesus, love
Yes,
talking
we
about
do.
Jesus.
Yes.
Hey, he's our Lord and Savior, and this is what we're all about. So we thank you for joining in with us tonight.
Yeah, and I wish they could see the promos that we had when we first started, because we had controversial conversations
that the church doesn't like to talk about.
Ooh, they
We're gonna
sure
show that
do.
at halfway point when folks are in. We're going to show that old.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Opening. We're going to show that. So folks that have come on new that don't know what the show's about, they can kind of get that feel how we started off the show. Yeah, we're going to do
Exactly. So how was your weekend, man? You look like you gained some weight. Would you eat the whole turkey?
What?
Man,
How you know that?
I wish I could have gained weight because I can't. You know what? I gotta watch my food intake.
I was
So
about to
I
say,
know, I'm just messing with you, man.
he's trying to catch you out.
it's a shame. But you know what? I still had a little bit of everything.
Okay.
My plate wasn't full like it normally. I only had one plate. It wasn't full like it normally is. But I had a little bit of everything. It was great. Thanksgiving was awesome. Family. We had about 25 people coming through. And it was awesome. You know, well, my wife's family's huge. So, and then a lot of my family came, but my family's 12, you know, when you count all the nieces and nephews even. But so the ones in Atlanta, of course, didn't come, but everybody that was in Jersey, except for my brother and his family, they all came. And then my wife's side of the family came, but not even her whole family, just her sister's side. The brothers didn't come. She has 4 brothers. They all did their thing. But it was great, man. How about yours? How was everybody else's?
Yours? No. His was great. He showed everyone his backyard on Facebook. You didn't see it on Facebook?
You know what?
I didn't look.
That was not my backyard.
Yeah. Him, his wife, Holly, Malachi,
Wow.
and the young lady.
Wow.
I was impressed.
I'm going to go check right now because I did not see it. I'm going to go check.
Pay no attention to this man behind the curtain, okay? Thanksgiving was great. Our son came back in town, brought a friend with him, and it was good to be with family and friends.
What's her name?
Her name is Marissa.
Okay.
So it was good.
What
And
was it?
Marissa.
Marissa.
And
Hi.
I weighed myself afterwards, only gained 3 pounds. I thought I did good. So hey, I kept it look good, kept it low. I felt good about it.
He trying to deflect from his new backyard. I went straight. As soon as I finished eating, I went straight on the way. Yeah.
What we did, we went to Brookside Gardens.
There you go. Let's go.
And from Brookside Garden, I love going there every year because I get inspirations to how to do stuff. They have like a festival of lights where they transform the entire garden, make it look like it's live insects, animals, anything you see in a garden would normally be in this particular place. I wish that was my backyard, but it wasn't.
It wasn't your backyard. Okay.
Thanksgiving was great. We had our first Rawlins Owings Thanksgiving. That's Simon and Kirsten. So Kirsten's parents and grandparents and friends came up, and we had the Rawlins, all the Rawlins family. So that was our first Thanksgiving together. There was so much food. We could have fed the Chinese military army. That's how much food we had. It was delicious though. Simone, Rachel, Kirsten, her mom, yeah, Sabrina, yeah, them food. Wow. It was smoking. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, not smoking, but smoking. We ain't do that.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Please. It was off the chain. Them ladies did a brilliant job. It was great. Right. We had a great time together.
Right. So I hope our viewers had an excellent Thanksgiving. And
yes,
as
we do.
Said last week, hopefully you were able to get with someone who didn't have family around. You were able just to reach out to them and say Happy Thanksgiving, or you invited them over to your house. And again, we hope everybody had a great, fun, safe Thanksgiving. And hopefully you didn't get crazy on Black Friday and spend too much money. I didn't go out. It was crazy out there. We didn't go to the malls on Black Friday. We left that alone. We went on Saturday.
It's like Black Monday because it's dark outside.
All right. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any shopping. Not yet. I was gonna do Cyber Monday, but then I remembered that I left my wallet at the airport. So
Yeah, did you ever get your wallet back?
Yeah.
They did find it. I did a loss of
Really?
found it. And
What country?
They're supposed to get it back today or tomorrow. So I'm hoping.
What country?
it comes in.
Where did they find it?
They found. I don't know where they found it. I just said, I lost my wallet. I sent a lost and found report, and they said they had it.
You was on Spirit, right?
I was on Spirit.
Oh, dang.
Spirit sent that for me.
We'll talk about that on another episode.
Probably the pilot had it. I don't know.
So tonight, we're excited about tonight's episode. We're going to be talking about America's global influence. Is it a good or bad thing? So we're going to look at how America does what it does and how people perceive it, and we're going to go from there. Who wants to kick it off?
I think we were talking about it, right? I think that we should have Mr. Rollins kick it off.
Come on, man.
You know what? I agree.
Okay, yeah.
I think we should.
Oh, because I talked about your backyard. Okay, so you're gonna agree on everything. Yeah. Well, in 1987.
You remember that?
Well, yes, I better know that. No, the end of 86. Okay, that's because I got married in 87. But the end of 86, October 1st, when I came over here. So back then, when you said you was going to the USA, maybe it is now or whatever, I don't know. But then everybody, oh, you going to America? Oh my gosh, America's huge. It's like the land, the streets are paved with gold. You're gonna have a great opportunity to do what you gotta do. And so it was great coming over here. Yes, there's a few eye burners when I first came over. Like, oh wow! And of course, with then I think what was it then? Wait a minute. The dollar then. Wait a minute. The dollar. Who's who coming out? Oh my gosh! We'll come back to it in a minute. I think then it was $1.02 for my £1. It was $2 in England. For my £1, it was $2. Mm-hmm. So I felt like I was rich when I came over here. But apart from that, from then until now, yeah. This piece from when I first came over here, he's like, oh, you going to America? Okay, great. Get some pictures, come back and tell us how it is, because we might want to go over there too or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now in the last 10 years, when my family members or someone calls me, says, how's the shootings? You ain't get shot? Are you in a dangerous area? I'm saying I'm in Baltimore. Of course it's dangerous.
That's messed up.
No. And then, of course, being a mail carrier, and then, of course, if your city or your state goes viral, that makes it even worse, especially when my family said, oh, Baltimore's in the news. How close was you to it? Or where was you? Or whatever. So you give him the story. So
a question for you. So when you were living in the UK,
yes,
how did the UK view America? Was a lot of American influence?
Yes, because they thought America was rich, or when you go over there, you're going to end up being rich because you had opportunities of doing what you want and how you want to do it, and everything, of course, which I found out when I came over. Everything is big in America. Everything is huge. The roads, because if you haven't been to England, then you would know the roads here are twice as big as motorways or beltways that you say here. The food portion, yes, way. The cars were much bigger. So everything. So it was like fitting to what I was being told. Well,
did you see a lot of big cars over there from America imported over, or everything still?
No, not really. Our cars just seem faster though. The reason why, because you could drive faster on our motorways than you can drive here. Mm-hmm. The speed limits is like here now you got 50, 55 on the belt. You can well, if you go down south, you can hit the 70s and 75 miles an hour.
Right.
In England, used to be people topping 80, 90 miles an hour,
Mhm.
and that's on a good day.
Mhm.
So, and that was only like 2 lanes, 3 lanes at the most.
Mhm.
But yes, it's way different now. I get different questions now from when I did 37 years ago.
Mhm.
So,
Talking about 37 years ago, I found this guy.
Mhm.
He was about that age, about 37 years ago. I found this guy. Don't know if you guys know him. This was 37 years ago.
Yo, cold! Yo, cold!
Good, Boomer. I'm glad you did it, man.
Yo, cold! Oh,
This is
did
what
you
he
see
this is
that?
what he
You see the
first
head
did,
up?
guys.
You see
This
the
is
head
his
up?
first picture,
Brother,
man.
it's just smooth as you want to be.
Woo!
Somebody better tell El
Looking like
Oh,
El
nigga,
Jabbar.
Somebody better tell El Jabbar, come on back.
That's it. That's El
You got my daughter on there, bro. Woo, Lord have mercy.
But when you think about that, because America has a way of influencing, financially,
Yeah.
culture, as far as clothing.
Mm.
I was asking about the cars, the food.
Yeah.
Everything is a big way of transition. They see what we do and they try to emulate that. And so my question is that always a good thing or not? Because I think America pretty much gets a lot of their influence from other countries, but yet and still people try to emulate us.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. I think the influence of America, especially with the younger generation,
Right.
goes over largely. There was an influence like from England at one time when you had the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. That music that was coming over, there was that invasion they called it, the English invasion. All these groups were coming over because there was a different, there was something different about them, right? And I think that's what other people see about Americans. There's something different, and either you hate them or you love them. And I think the influence goes a long way. Financially, it always goes a long way because the dollar, again, Simon said it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The currency market is based on the U.S. dollar. It used to be based on gold, but now it's based on the U.S. dollar. And so that's going to happen. But fashion, right? Even cars and buildings and the fashion, and pay, healthcare, all those things. They look to America. They look to see what Americans are doing,
especially in the hip hop era.
It's real big in hip hop era. Yeah.
Yes, with the bandanas, doing the breakdancing and doing because it came a lot, especially with the clubs that was over there. It came a lot at the clubs. The music, the videos that would show that. I mean, when it's not hip hop, but when Thriller came out, I mean, that was like massive, and I'm sure other countries were the same thing too.
Oh yeah, Michael Jackson was huge everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, oh, we get ready to get a Thriller from America. It wasn't just we just watching Thriller. Oh, it's coming all the way from America, so we're gonna blah blah blah. So I mean, that part of the influence.
But entertainers for a long time have been influenced because especially black entertainers back in the 40s and 50s, they weren't as well received, but over in Europe, they were super received.
But now,
I think it was Louis Armstrong was one of them that he would have trouble being here doing venues, but when he went to Europe, France, and Italy, and England, he was so well received. So it's crazy. So the music.
But look now England's influences on actors. Everything now is a British actor.
British,
black or white,
Australian.
Yeah, black or white.
And don't get the Irish in there. They're coming over too. So
I'll tell you another story on that.
Right.
Well, that's also because a lot of these movies now are made, especially these big cinematic movies are now made in that area, right? They're made overseas. And so some of the biggest actors now are overseas actors. But the truth of the matter is they're still coming to where? Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right. They're still trying to make it in Hollywood. You talk to all of these folks, they're trying to make it in Hollywood now because that's where the center of the cinema or the movie industry is. The center of fashion is, Paris is huge. Italy is huge.
Italy.
But still, it's New York they talk about. Right. And, so there's still that. And even with sports, soccer is the biggest sport in the world, but football and basketball, which are U.S. sports, they are
now going
American football, are now invading Europe, invading
And baseball.
Africa.
And
They're
baseball.
huge. So there's been an influence. Yes, definitely.
But now, one thing to get to me is how our political stature, you spoke earlier, the military. It's like our military is basically in these different countries, which are there to be peacekeepers. And in some countries don't like us being there because of what we're bringing over.
But there's some countries who do like you being there because they are peacemakers. Because as soon as they move, well, there we go. Hey guys, you're gonna go back. You're gonna go back.
No, but he's right, because if the military were to move out of certain countries, it's like, why did you leave us? And now you're looking at being the bad guy because now you left us high and dry, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, again, right. So the U.S. is considered, and it's changed because of certain presidents have made it change. But we were considered the police of the world. That's what people called us, right? Our job was to try to keep everything in order and in a peacekeeper. Unfortunately, it's impossible. There's 300 different countries out there. There's wars. I forget, somebody was saying that during President Trump's first term, there was no wars. There was 36 wars. The U.S. didn't care about, right? So the U.S. doesn't get involved in those wars because they have no advantage or disadvantage to them. But there's wars every day. There's wars going on everywhere you look in the world. But America was really there to police the bigger countries, the more powerful countries, because when it comes to an army, there's no army bigger or better or badder than the U.S. Our technology, our strategic way that we do things is unparalleled to most countries. China has, 1 billion people in their country with the hugest military in the world, but they're not ready to go up against America because of the technology and of how we do things, our training. What we see in the military right now, I forget, one of my friends was in the military, and he said what you see in the military now that people are seeing is probably about 10 years behind about what they're actually doing when it comes to advanced machines and advanced.
Well, because you have countries like Russia and China, they do their military parade where they show off their hardware.
Well, we getting ready to get one.
We don't do that.
Oh, we getting ready to get one.
Well,
we're gonna get one now.
Yeah. He's been talking about it. He's been talking about it. He wants to put them.
Then, we're not going to show our good. We're not going to show the best stuff, right?
We don't need to show off our hardware. That serves no purpose.
We don't need to show anything. I mean, it's the element of surprise. I don't know, but I will put a plug out for the RAF in England. I'm going to do that. So,
England has some of the best special forces.
Red Berets.
We talk about the Royal Air Force is great, and the SAS was the SAS. Is that called? There's special ops. But they're considered our Rangers or our Green Berets. I forget what they're called.
Red Berets. Red Berets. Yeah, you're right though. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they're some of the best in the world, and Israel has some great ones too. But when you talk about our special forces, of course, still tough to compare. What those guys do, and it's crazy. But that's the ugly part of America, right? That's the ugly part, and we're going to talk about that because there's a great part of America, but then there is the ugly part. And I was talking to somebody today, and you guys tell me how you feel about this, and folks, we'd love to hear your comments too. Yeah. I think America has always had an ugly part, but it wasn't seen. But I think now we're seeing a lot of the ugly, the politics, the foreign policies that we have and what we're doing. I think we see more of it now than we've ever seen, where you can say, man, I didn't know that we would get down like that, but we do. And you see it. What do you guys think?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
How do I see?
That's a good one.
Like, do you think that there's something like, for instance, Watergate was a big deal. Watergate was a huge deal.
Okay.
So much that the president resigned before he got put, away. But now every president things are coming up. Every president, from the time that Clinton was running for president, Hillary Clinton was running for president, you heard about the thing that happened over in Africa. I forget what it's called, black something. I forget what it's called. That happened. You heard about that. You hear about every little thing now you hear about.
Mm-hmm.
And now you hear Joe Biden's releasing his son, where he said he wouldn't do that. That's a big controversy, pardoning his son.
Exactly.
Controversy.
Well, if he didn't do it
Because if
now,
you don't do it now, you know who's in office, he might not get out.
so
That's like Barabbas. I'm sorry.
no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. It's like all of them are gonna go out and we're gonna leave your son in there.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But do you think, or how do you feel about when America goes into a certain country and they change their whole cultural lifestyle?
I don't think America changes our cultural lifestyle, but I think, like we said in the beginning, there is an influence, right? But I don't think they're. I think that if they do change or want to change it, they just want to improve on areas that, as a democracy, we feel is withholding. For instance, when they went to Afghanistan, they want to make the social economics for women better, right? Because women were treated as fourth-class citizens, and unfortunately, they still are, because we got out before we could make a real effective change. I think that's what they try to do. Now, the problem is that they also try to change sometimes the things that they should have. There should be no reason to change it. It's the culture.
Okay.
And that's where I think they try to influence certain things. For instance, when you go into certain countries and you try to change their educational policies when it comes to what they teach.
Right.
We want to teach certain things in our schools that other countries don't want to teach in their schools. So don't do it. Don't tell them, oh, they have to do this. That's not humanistic or whatever it is. That I think is a problem.
But a lot of it was different, because how you did this is back in my day. I don't know what they do now because I'm not in the schools. Back in the day, then in England, we did our maths different than what America did.
Oh yeah.
And then plus we was out of school at 16. And then when I come to find out that what we crammed in at 16 is what you do at 18 when you graduate.
Yeah.
So look, when I'm saying this, I'm not saying we smart or anything like that. I'm just talking about the education part of it. It was more dense or whatever in whatever we did. But I had a job 2 weeks after I graduated from, well, we didn't even say graduated, but graduated from school at 16. So I was working since I was 16, which was different. And I had to try and see, you all say how's 6th, 7th grade, 8th grade, 3rd grade.
Right.
We didn't, my day, we didn't have that. It was like first year, second year, third year, fourth year. First year, second year, third year, fourth year, which seemed easy. So I'm coming over here trying to still learn what, oh, wait a minute. You in the 10th grade? How old are you? I'm like,
well, that's debatable. You be in 10th grade, 19.
Exactly. So what?
That's true. But and that also comes, right. We still haven't changed things that are 100 years old, 150 years old that we've been changing in America, right? Because a lot of it stems from we were a farm country early on in our existence. So summers were important. So they took off for summers. We didn't have school all year round like they do in many countries. They don't have summer breaks. China don't have a summer break. They have school all year round. We don't have that because we had summers, daylight savings time. Other countries don't even have that. They don't know what that is. What the heck is daylight savings? We do that because of the farm industry that we had. So it caused us to do different things. And yes, that's sometimes why we are behind. But then we will allow our military to be 18 years old. You have captains who are 22 years old leading people into battles, and they wouldn't be out of college here in America. But because military is different from education, we do different things. Hey guys, we're getting a lot of comments. You guys want to jump some in there?
Go ahead,
please.
Hit them.
Let's go to the source. When Dexter actually does this, it's pretty good, and it's a good point.
The United States remain the most powerful country in the world, anchored by a 27 trillion economy that fuels unmatched innovation and global. Yes, and I did read that. I did see the top 5, and one of the countries that was in there that surprised it. Now, we just found out, depending on what website you look at,
Right.
depending on what kind of thing they're putting out, the top 5, one of them was it was like USA, always number 1 in everything. China, Russia, India had moved up, and this is 2024. India had moved up to 4th, and then Japan. So
Yeah, India's middle class has jumped up tremendously, but that's because of outsourcing.
yes,
Outsourcing, yeah.
yeah,
Outsourcing has made India very popular. Their middle class has moved up. They were really one time high class, low class, but now their middle class is booming. And I was surprised to learn that this is a financial tip. I was surprised to learn that during the pandemic, when everybody else was suffering when it came to their economy, the Minister of Finance in that country did such a great job that many millionaires moved their money to India because they were giving off 8% when everybody else was not giving off anything. That was crazy.
Right.
You're not getting 8% now. And India was giving 8% during the time of when the world was closing down.
Right.
That was crazy.
So you was correct, Dexter. Yeah. What's the next question? Okay. To Leah. Come on. It wasn't an advantage necessarily for the U.S. It had everything to do with our deficit. We owe a lot of money to a lot of countries. We are slaves as a country to the lenders.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Right? We owe a lot of countries, but it is what do we say? It is what they call it when it's in a computer. It's money, but it's not like, okay, they're gonna call us on it and we have to worry, right?
Right.
The countries that we owe, because people think, oh, China owns America.
They don't.
They don't. Right? If China owned America, we would be in real serious trouble.
Right.
But America's never defaulted on their debt. That's one thing we have to understand. We've never defaulted on our debt because we can print money. So we'll never default on our debt. The problem is that our deficit is getting larger, so it hurts the economy for Americans, not for the government, for Americans, because our inflation goes up because we have to print more money to pay off our debt. But we've never defaulted on our debt. So yeah, we are borrowers, but we're also lenders. We lend a lot out there. That's why Donald Trump wants to create these tariffs that put on countries, because we put a lot of stuff out there. Remember, America probably is the #1 producer of farm products.
Oh yeah.
Right, in the world, probably, because we supply a lot of countries that don't do it. England is not huge on getting corn, right? But they sell corn in England.
No. Yeah.
And who gives it to them? America.
We do.
Right. So yeah.
Yeah, because on here it says the 5 most exports that America send out is Canada, Mexico, China, Japan, and United Kingdom, but no corn.
Right. Right. Yeah. But before you make another comment, it's time for you to say,
yes, wonderful people, push the button.
40 minutes already.
I know, push the button, like us. You can't help but like us.
come on.
Share us for other people to see us, and subscribe with us so you can pass it on to the people them so they can see us and express their concerns about whatever discussion that we have, because we have controversial topics
And stimulating conversation.
exactly. And
We're going to show that right now, because a lot of people never saw the original opener.
oh wow,
Okay.
We get some comments that, you know what? Let's tell you what this show's about. So here's the original opener,
oh,
everybody.
they gonna laugh.
Tell them about I am a warrior, Christian warrior, with the weapon in my right hand.
You're welcome. This is Mark.
This is Simon. Get ready for some stimulating conversation and some controversial topics.
Ooh, this is going to be good.
And you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned
Because
You're welcome.
Wow, that took us back, man.
Warrior.
That took us back. Wow. So that's what we're all about. And welcome to our new viewers. We're so
Yes.
grateful you're joining with us tonight.
Yes.
And don't let this be your last time joining in with us.
That's funny.
We enjoy you.
What's the next
Okay,
question?
back to the comments. We got a whole bunch.
Comments.
We got a whole bunch. Okay.
Yes. So
Deborah, I'll
says-
read this one. My
Go
love.
ahead. All right.
Go on with you.
I think the U.S. has some positive influence in other countries regarding human rights and environmental protections. However, the USA has experimented on children all over the world, including Jamaica. Woo.
Human rights. Jamaica.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So,
human
yeah.
rights.
So, what do you think about how America will utilize foreign individuals to help us meet certain health issues in the U.S.? What we've done that.
But one thing U.S. has done, it does promote, democracy and human rights. So we're trying to
And
do that
health.
to help in other countries.
And health.
And health, yeah.
And health. But we will victimize countries to get certain things done that we have to get done for those reasons, right? We will do that. And
Well,
that's sometimes a little bit difficult because we will use shows. I mean, heck, the fact that you can get sneakers for $200 here, but it costs you $5 to make them because of labor laws, and they use child labor in certain countries to get these things done.
Well, is that a company issue that those corporations that do that, or is that a U.S. issue? I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think it's both, right? Because it's a company thing because the companies do it, but the U.S. never stops them from doing it, right? The U.S. government says that's not what you can't do that here in America, so we shouldn't allow you as a U.S.-based company to do it over there, right? We don't ever stop them, or at least I don't know them of putting on anything that would stop them.
But that's like a big sports thing also. I mean, I know they do a whole lot of for children in this country. Is when they go out and they go visit another country, or they go take sneakers or shirts or their own personal football, soccer, baseball shirts or whatever. And then you get a whole country coming out because they want what that they can get. So that's a great influence though. I like when I see that.
Mm-hmm. NR says social media has made the world smarter,
Not reliable.
and more visible. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I agree with that statement.
Yeah, I think social media, and that's what we're talking about, right? You get to see more of what America does because now people just take out a camera and you can see stuff that you couldn't see before.
That's like the commercials they put up. We just talked about it.
Right.
The commercials.
Yeah, Perry Gore. I don't know if you're listening,
Wow.
Perry. All right. This is
Yeah.
why America is not like the other countries because of the messiness and hidden agenda. Yes or no? We talked about it, right?
Yeah, it's just a yes or no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
A lot of no's. I mean, a lot of yeses. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that we're not liked. I think that we're not liked in a lot of countries because not only because of our messiness, mainly because of our lack of worldview. Right? Pretty much every other nation in the world knows multiple languages.
Yeah.
Right? You talk to somebody from China or talk to somebody from Africa or they'll say, oh, I know 2 or 3 languages. Some know 4, some know 5. You talk to American, they're like, what language do I need to know? I need to know American. That's what I know. and that's part of it is our brashness to say we don't need anything else other than America.
Well, to your point, because if you go overseas, most of the time you do hear are people who speak English because that's like
it's the number one
language, basically.
Well,
Yeah.
number 2.
Number 2?
I think Mandarin is number 1 or Cantonese.
Okay, keep talking while you.
Yeah, keep talking, please.
I'm gonna do a little checking while you're doing that. Go ahead.
Do a little check for me. Where's our producer?
You mean Jamaicans not up there, neither? Number one language.
Number 3.
Everybody wants to talk patois.
I think of the population of China, Taiwan. I think that Mandarin is number 1, or Cantonese. Some Chinese language is number 1.
Oh, okay.
Are we fact checking me?
Yes,
Well, I mean, if our producer was here, he could fact check, but that's not on his agenda.
well, actually, it says English is the most spoken language in the world, but you're right. Mandarin Chinese, Spanish. Yeah. So Mandarin, Chinese, and Spanish are the top.
Yeah, I know Spanish is up there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just because of population, right? Size of people. So yeah.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right.
So
I think Keith is saying we need to scale back our military. Maybe that's what he meant to type.
Yeah.
Looks like you left off some of the wording there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we need to scale back our military. If anything, our military needs to become more in tune, be sharper, and be more aggressive, because other military in other countries are becoming that, and I think we become more lax, where I think they are progressing.
I don't think they should lack. I mean, because you have to be prepared. We just have to be prepared. So
Exactly.
you just can't
lack.
scale back or anything like that. You just be prepared, which I'm assured that USA is prepared. But other militaries are that. How do you say it? They may be building up, but they're not building up in the quality of what USA or some other military is. They don't have the training
Right.
like they have here. So
yeah, it'd be tough for us to have to scale back the military. I think we are the police of the world, and we are already thin. When it comes to numbers of people in the military, we're not like a lot of these other countries. We're not like Russia or China. But like Simon, you were saying, we are so advanced. We are so technical.
especially like when you watch the Marines, or you watch the Marines, you watch the Navy, the things you have to go through training for that. Some other countries may not even have that ability to do that kind of training. So I'm not saying that they can't, but
think of what we can do. I mean, the way we got. I mean, think about how we got. But not Bin Laden. Well, he was bad too, but Saddam Hussein in a hole. I mean, things that we can do, the things that we can see with our drones and our satellites.
And it's good they can do that because, like you said, when you do go into foreign soil, remember the foreign people, they know where to go. They know where to hide. Now you got to find them. So the equipment that we got now is helping us.
Vietnam,
find them.
Vietnam was crazy. We weren't technically ready for Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
Esther, our friend Esther. America, in my opinion, has fallen from grace. I barely recognize it. Never in my lifetime would I have believed I would have seen such a division. United we stand, divided we fall.
I'm with her.
Yeah.
Yes. And even if I could say from the time I came in 86, 87 and to now, yeah, sometimes when they do call me up and says, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I know they're being concerned, and I am. I'm not walking around like I'm scared, but it's just totally different. It's way, way different. And you know that society now is way, way, way different.
Well, with that point, with this is we were talking about this last night, the lifestyle that the people in the US have that's being infiltrated overseas, you know, the LGBT, that group, things of that nature. I mean, are they accepting it because they see us doing it, or are they fighting it because they see us doing it?
They're both.
Well, I know that in England, it's accepting it.
Yeah.
Because when I went over for my mom's funeral, it was that weekend where they had they was going to the city center.
Right, their pride week.
Yeah, their pride day was going to the city center. Wow. So some countries would be more. Of course, some other countries, you ain't taking their flags over there at all.
Yeah.
It's that country. So,
Like in Africa,
Yeah.
certain places in Africa, you can't do that.
You're not
Yeah.
getting away with it in certain, like in Kenya, it's not happening.
Right.
Right. Uganda's not happening. It's a lot of countries in Africa, but then there are some like South Africa or not South Africa, but maybe certain countries in the north part of Africa that are more willing to be more open because again, they know where their money's coming from. Right.
Yeah.
America pours a lot of money and they'll say, if you do this, we're not going to give you money. Those sanctions hit hard on a lot of these countries.
Right.
Right. Is Monica new? I was wondering.
No, Monica's been on here for a while.
that's Keith's wife.
Oh,
You know Sleepy Keith?
together.
Remember she made that statement about Sleepy Keith?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Here's an ugly part of America you don't hear about. All of the orphans and mixed race babies left behind by American soldiers in countries like Korea and the Philippines during wartime.
Wow. That's a powerful statement.
Yes, it
It's a true
is.
statement. It's a true statement, right?
Mhm.
And she's talking from the viewpoint of not, because many of these Americans will marry and bring home. Like you'll see a lot of military guys with Korean wives or Filipino wives will come home. Because she's talking more so about the ones that going out there having fun, as they call it, and not caring that these babies are being born. Right, to these people and not doing what's necessary to be done, and the woman has no way of getting it handled by the U.S. government, right? And that's the part that is really saddening. But maybe there might be a time when the government says, "Well, you know what? It's time to take DNA tests, and if this person's DNA matches this person's DNA, and it can be proven." It's going to work. It's going to happen. But right now, there's nothing like that, unfortunately.
That's a lot. That's a lot. What's the next one? Oh, Keith, I guess he's coming back. We need to scale back our military overseas and not to be so involved with taking our heads out of states when we want to steal their resources. See, they thieves.
Keith's coming up with some stuff.
Yes, he
Right.
is.
Because I can agree and disagree with that.
Which part? The stolen?
No, the part back. I don't think we should take our military again back to
The scaling back?
Yeah, I don't
No.
think we should because again, it goes back to the issue of us helping to not really police, but to try to keep things in order for countries who are not able to do so. So that aspect, I don't think we should scale back on that. As far as stealing the resources, I guess we need to be more. I guess it needs to be define what he's talking about. I mean, because we still resources here from ourselves. So I'm trying to understand what resources he's talking about. They're stealing. I mean, he's talking about going into the diamond mines in Africa, or is he talking about
Oil, land. But
Well, you know, the Saudis are not going to let you steal no oil.
No.
The Saudis are not going to let you steal no oil. No.
Well, it's not steal, but get it for a good price. So,
Okay.
so is Keith military? Do you guys know?
I'm not sure.
Keith, let's hope you're military, because if you're military, I think you're saying that if you're non-military, I understand why you're saying it. If you're military, I don't understand why you're saying it, because really we're in these countries for two reasons.
Is Monica military? I know their daughter is military.
Well, then it's strange because we're really in these countries for strategic purposes, right? Where we can put a base is so that we can actively get to that place to be able to police certain places. Like, for instance, the reason why we bought Liberia from Africa, from whatever country we bought it from, we got the deed from that, is so that way we're right on the African East Africa. We can get to Europe very quickly. There's ports there. We can bring boats in there. We can easily now get ourselves planes and ships because there's Roberts Airfield. This is a military airfield in Liberia. We're in other countries in Africa like Egypt. We're in certain countries like Turkey. It's all because we wanted access to Russia. Amen. We are in Tokyo. We are in the Philippines and Indonesia. Why? We have access to China. We're in Taiwan, South Korea. Why? Because we can get to North Korea. We want to be in these places for strategic purposes.
But also there are our allies as well.
Well, they're our allies because they need to be, right? I mean,
Well,
they
we
were
just
afraid of
praying
China,
actually
they were
that
afraid of
military.
Russia. They don't want to be taken. The reason why South Korea is our allies because they're worried about North Korea.
Exactly.
Right? Taiwan is worried about China. China is still talking about going back and taking Taiwan.
Yeah.
So,
But we're praying
our
that there's
president's
no
saying that
military.
they're not going to do it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that we're praying that we don't ever have to use military,
Right.
because a lot of innocent people are going to be killed.
Yeah.
In whatever's going on, and a lot of people not even involved in the military or war is going to get. So we praying that this will never happen.
Amen.
So yes.
But
So oh no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but they just use a show of force, right? They're
Exactly.
there
Yes.
to show that we're here, and so hopefully that deters you from doing anything, right? That's what we hope. And you're 100% right. We pray to God that a massive another world war doesn't occur, because that's death, right? That's just death.
He's sad. Do you know who Collins?
Collins of Monday is my buddy from Kenya watching. It is right now 8 hours different. It is 4 o'clock in the morning in Kenya. And my pastor Collins Monday from Kenya. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Reverend Collins.
He's a friend of mine, and he's watching. So share that. There's a great story. One day we should try to get him on if he gets good connection, because he told a story about a guy that was saved and how he was saved. It's a great story.
Don't worry, Collins. We got your back, because if you're a friend of Rupert, we will be praying. We got you, sir.
Because he don't have many friends. So we're glad you're part of his friend wagon. Thank you, Collins.
Oh, wow. I have friends, Collins. I have friends.
Perry Gore's coming back here.
Perry Gore is one of my friends. They're there.
Dang, you got 2 friends on one night? Whoa. This is a statement that became popular because based upon our involvement in Iraq. It was popular. It was a popular opinion that they only got involved because of the resources we want to claim too. So
that's a statement, right? It's not the truth in that we just want resources. There's other reasons why we are in countries for reasons, right? So Keith was in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Guys need to step it up when they can. I think Oz can do more. You're 100% right, Keith, but we're not there because of we desire to be in these countries.
Right.
100%. We desire to be in these countries. And again, yes, our allies can do more. And that's what Donald Trump wants to do. He wants to involve them more through NATO and through the money that's given. But the fact of the matter is that America has an agenda. And like I was saying, a lot of this stuff was blind. We didn't really see it before, but they have an agenda. The reason why we took us so long to get into World War II is because of America's agenda. Some of the stories, and it's conspiracy theory, that they knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen, and they let it happen. And the reason why we didn't lose so many ships was because they knew Japan was coming, and they moved the ships out of the normal port of Pearl Harbor to a different port.
Right.
And that's what we needed, something to get us into the war, and that got us into the war. But look how rich we got after that war.
And I was saying about to make that war helps boost the U.S. economy.
Huge. Every war, our economy goes crazy.
Goes up.
Yeah. So, and that's the ugly part of America, right? We're seeing things and we're hearing things now that we would never heard of. I mean, when Bush Jr. went into Iraq and he said that there was weapons of mass destruction, we know it was just going to go there because they tried to kill his daddy.
Right.
And you can be mad all you want to, but all of us, I know I would. If someone tried to kill my daddy and I'm president of the most powerful army in the world, oh yeah, I'm coming to get you. Mm-hmm. I'm coming to get you. But that's the ugly part of America. You know, when you got the toughest big brother on the block, sometimes you're going to call him in and say, hey.
Exactly.
Let's handle business. And it's an ugly part. And you wouldn't have known that prior because there weren't satellites, there weren't cell phones. But now anything that happens, you hear about it. Heck, they carry cams on them so we can see exactly the time when Osama bin Laden got shot. They're carrying cams. That's the crazy part. So the ugly part of America is out there.
So with that said, the whole issue of this may be off topic a little bit. The whole thing about the border control, building this wall. By building this wall, it's still not going to stop America's influence crossing over the border.
Amen. Yeah. Right. So what is the building the wall supposed to do? Stop immigrants, right? Supposedly. It probably will. It'll slow it down. It's not
building the wall
completely.
Don't they have underground?
Yeah, it'll slow it down. It's not
They'll find a way.
I mean,
They'll find a way.
Anybody and everybody will find a way, and then they're doing it now. So, gosh, yeah.
So it's going to happen, but I think that what will happen more so is the language that our government uses, right? You can't insist another country do something,
Right?
not out loud. Right. That's where you do it, and that's the problem with our incoming president, is he speaks stuff that needs to be spoken in the room one-on-one, so that way the country understands that we're not trying to bully you. We just need this to be done because it will help both of us.
Exactly.
He doesn't do that. He tries to be a bully, and bullies always there's people that will push back on bullies. And we can't afford our allies to push back on us, because we, just like someone said, right, there are things, there is a deficit, and there are things that we owe other countries, and we don't want to be called out on that. I mean, the Mexican president said, we don't manufacture guns here. The United States manufactures the most guns in the world. And guess what? We have guns here because of you. Our cartels is because of you. This is because of you that we have. You're telling us not to, so don't bring your guns into our country. All right, yeah. And that's going to be an issue.
That's another story too, though. Guns.
Yes, it is.
That's that's another topic in itself.
Oh yeah.
Guns. Yeah. So.
But I have a question for you guys. I know we only about 6 minutes or 5 minutes. So let me ask you this question: what do you all feel about, though, the fact that America, the fact that America may or may not, right, influence the next generation of children to be global? Do you think that we should influence our children to be global, or we should not?
I think we should influence it, because, again,
you mean talk about traveling?
Not just traveling, but having knowledge of the world.
I think we should. It's important because, again, back to the earlier statements about healthcare. I mean, and investing into the societies, helping them with their structure. I think we should continue to be global.
Look, I even see videos on Facebook or whatever when someone asks college students or universities, name a country beginning with the letter C, and I can't think of one. Or ask them, give me 5 countries, not America, outside of America. Name me 5 countries that you know, and they don't know. And it's like, you serious? You're thinking, wait a minute, you're joking. Right. That you can't do that. Or what is the capital of England, or what's the capital of Germany, or something like that. And I know that for a fact in England, when we was going through ours, stuff like that, we had to know that we got tested all the time. So anything to do with Europe, I guess because we European, all the Italy, Luxembourg, Spain, Sweden, Norway, and all that stuff, we had to learn that in school. We didn't learn too much about the history of America in school, just a little tiny bit then. I don't know what they do now, but there's just a lot of stuff that I was like, dang, are they serious? I mean, what? The capital of what? I mean, then again, half of them don't even sing the national anthem. So,
well, no, to his point, seriously, because you think about it, if we were ever if we had to take the citizenship exam,
Oh,
I wonder how many of us would actually pass it.
I would. I think. Sorry, that's
Well, he would because he just took it not too long ago.
the questions are actually easy, and it's like if you did fail, you need to be sent to another country. You couldn't pass that. You can't fail it.
But like you said, man, some people, I think I've seen those same YouTube clips. And some people that you asked, what's the capital of the United States of America? They don't know
Yes.
in DC. They're like,
California?
New York. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. And you think
Questions.
Or how many states begin with the letter M? And they go,
how many states in America?
Just ask them. Just ask them. Name me a state that begins with M.
right.
This is the best one. Name a state that begins with N. New Mexico. No, M.
Okay, here's mine though.
No.
Where you from? Oh, I'm from England. Where you from? Yeah, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
I said, you gotta be joking. I said, I'm from England. I said, Birmingham, England? Oh, Alabama? No.
No. The real Birmingham. Yeah, but that's a problem. Our youth, they love to travel.
Yes.
But it's like, well, what are you learning? Are you learning about the culture you're walking into? Because part of the reason why we're hated is because we don't know other people's culture. You go to Tokyo and you go to Japan and you want to shake somebody's hand. They're like, no, we bow.
Yeah.
Right. You walk into somebody's house, right? Shoes automatically come off because that's what they do. Right. We drink soup nice and quiet. They slurp. And that tells you that you like the soup. Those are things that they do culturally that we have no gist on because we don't know anything.
But you would think, though, if you're traveling and you go into another country, that you want to find out the laws and the bylaws of what does this country do, what do they like to eat, what and before you even go. So, global. I think
Jamaicans know our news. Like I'll talk to people in Jamaica, and they'll know what's going on in America.
Yes.
Right.
But and I know that we got 1 minute to go.
Other countries, they don't have the faintest idea what's going on in other countries.
Let me put a shout out to my brother. His birthday is tomorrow, William. Yes, I got you. He'll be 60 years old tomorrow. So that's my brother.
And next week we're going to be talking about. Next week we're going to be talking about why do people fake their true colors? Why do people fake their true colors?
Why are you looking at Simon?
On that note,
wait, what do you mean colors? Like you talking about mix? Or you talking about half and half?
I'm not saying none of that. See, Rupert, you're starting
blue,
stuff.
purple.
You're starting stuff.
No.
Thank you next week.
Minnesota, Maryland, Michigan, Montana, Mississippi.
Simon, watch the replay. Watch the replay, Simon. When he said why people fake their true colors, he was just like this.
Yeah, he did. I saw him.
Anyway, stay tuned. If you was here, say
no. Stay tuned because you will hear us say
you're welcome.
No.